I'm Jace Cole Morrison. I bitch about it, so you fuckers can listen. Right, I'm sure most of the most observant viewers of my channel have noticed a slight pattern to the content that I'm producing. Basically, a movie review and a let's play, and the movie is basically the movie adaptation of the said video game. This is a trend that will not continue because majority of movies based on video game licenses are utter fucking shite. I'm really happy to say that this is not an exception to the rule. In fact, this movie has a very devoted sort of fan base and sort of cult following. And I'm utterly shocked and amazed that Triple Jump, channel that I follow and quite enjoy, video game based movies from worst to best, and they completely shat all over Mortal Kombat. They did not like this film whatsoever, and that's a real shame because I honestly think it's like the go to movie for like sort of drunkard students. But this is essentially my sort of go to movie where I'm a little bit bummed and I need cheering up because I watched it as a kid, and you know it's a stupid, dumb, fun movie with a kick ass soundtrack, really quotable lines, not too bad performances to be honest with you. You know, they were given a script and they made the most of it, and yeah, some really good choreographed sort of fighting scenes for the most part. It is a real good fucking time, and you will fucking enjoy it. It's unlike a lot of these video game sort of cash grab licenses. This has stood the test of time, and it's no doubt been proven because the latest sort of Mortal Kombat installment, Mortal Kombat 11, has just released an expansion pack using all of the voice talents from this very movie. I will say one thing that I made a massive fuck up during my playthrough. I've actually written all the names of the actors here because yeah, trying to be professional. Robin's Shu, Shou, Robin Shao, maybe. That's probably how you pronounce it. I do apologise if I butchered your name, sir. I accidentally mentioned that he was in two famous movies, one being this, Mortal Kombat, and the other being a film adaptation of The Jungle Book. I'm saying the word adaptation a lot in this review. As you can tell, I've had a few. This was unfortunately completely untrue, and the actor who played Mowgli in that film was actually Jason Scott Lee. I'm not sure he was a relation of Bruce Lee, but he did play him in the filmography of his life, Dragon the Bruce Lee story, and that was also a really kick-ass film. And yeah, I mean, I can sort of see how a young version of me would sort of mix them up. Bear in mind, I haven't seen that Jungle Book film in a long time, but they do have a similar build. The hair is sort of similar, and obviously they're of Asian descent. So I can sort of see how I've got these guys mixed up. But fortunately, Robin Shao has really only been in sort of Mortal Kombat plus a few other films. He has an extensive filmography, but Mortal Kombat is by far the best film he has been in. In fact, the majority of the cast, this is by far their sort of crowning work. This is the film that they are most famous for. Obviously, not including Christopher Lambert, you know, Highlander boy, and oh fucking hell, I've written this name and I'm gonna butcher it. I am so sorry. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, I believe it's how you say it. I'm so sorry if I got that completely wrong. Yeah, don't try to sort of say sort of Asian or Japanese names when you're had a few lagers. It's really not the cleverest thing to do, and film it, of course, you know. But yeah, no, he's had a few notable sort of TV roles and some voice work. Aside from that, I mean, a lot of these guys have been in sort of like B movies, I would say at best, to be fair, and TV work. But this is by far their like most notable work, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. This is a fantastic film. You know, it's a sit down, turn your brain off sort of movie. I mean, it clearly has flaws. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was literally just watching it now, and I was just thinking, how is this a tournament? Like they're saying that you know this is a tournament to determine the fate of the world. You need to win 10 of these like mystical boogie woogie tournaments in order to lay claim to a world. I mean, try to explain the nuances of that rule. I mean, imagine if you had that like sort of rule in sort of like everyday sort of like world. Like imagine World War Two was settled in a fucking martial arts tournament. Hitler beat Poland's best warriors, so then he could advance further. Yeah, it's just a bit silly. Yeah, they need to sort of it needed to expand on this and how the sort of tournament came about. And that's the whole. That's the key word tournament. Like, they don't seem to have any brackets. There doesn't seem to be any structure to the fighting. It's just like they just seem to randomly just have one-on-one matches, and there's no rules. There's no holes barred. It's like Kano at one point, a gentleman playing Kano. He's sitting at this sort of like illustrious banquet. Yeah, the entire set is covered with candles. By the way, the set designer has a massive candle fetish throughout this entire film. Like, it's just candles dripping wax everywhere. I'm surprised it didn't slip all over the fucking place. But he's basically chowing down on food, and he describes a Sub-Zero fight against this random hood. And he's basically saying how completely unfair it is. He throws an ice beam at him, and he explodes. I'm thinking, well, yeah, that is pretty fucking unfair. I mean, he's clearly not a mortal, is he? He's not a human. I mean, okay, maybe the term mortal means that he can die. You potentially can kill him, so he's mortal. But he's not obviously a human being. He has a clear advantage. So it's blatantly not a fair fight. I mean, I would be scratching my head and sort of asking for the rule book, to be honest with you, if I was these fuckers. I mean, if he can throw a fucking fireball or an ice beam, yeah, why can't I just bring a fucking gun and shoot him? Yeah, why not? I mean, is it because it's not an extension of my own body? Maybe, I don't know. But there's nothing to say that I couldn't get a gun and shoot him. Why not? I mean, Sonya Blade, when she stepped onto the boat, which took them to the mystical island, she had a gun at the start. I mean, she was disarmed, but she still had a gun. Who's to say that if she hadn't have drawn it and it got taken away, who's to say she couldn't have used that fucking gun? Kano himself brought a knife, and nobody said a fucking word. I mean, there was weapons involved, so why the fuck not? Why couldn't I have just got the best fucking gun I could have thought of, joined the fucking tournament, and just shot the shit out of people? I mean, Goro didn't look fucking bulletproof. That's a good point. That Goro, that model was fucking fantastic. It was great. It looked really good. I mean, I think there's a sort of mixed responses to it. It does look a bit sort of skinny in the midsection. Puppet work is just phenomenal. It looks good. He's all sweaty, and he looks like they're trying to make it as real as alien as sort of possible. He looked good. He looked menacing. I mean, there's no point sort of going through the soundtrack. The soundtrack is fucking amazing. Oh my god, the soundtrack. Oh, the soundtrack. It's brilliant. Like, honestly, you could stick some of those tunes on in a nightclub right away, and yeah, it'll be banging. It'd be absolutely fantastic, and not just the Mortal Kombat from the Immortals. There are some other tracks on there that are just brilliant. Like, there's a tune in between Liu Kang and the reptile fight, which is brilliant. I could see that light in a club like easily. Some highlights from the film. The best fight by far is against the actor who played Johnny Cage. Oh, I've written this fucking guy's name down. Oh, where is it? I think it's Lyndon Ashby. And I didn't write Scorpion's name down, the actor who plays Scorpion, which is a bit fucking disrespectful. Sorry. But that was by far the best fight. I mean, if you wanted to skip the whole thing or just put in YouTube Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, it's the best fight by far. It's fucking excellent. Bridget Scott, I think, or the bird, the woman who was in Happy Madison, she can't fight for shit, and you could tell. There was this embarrassing moment where they're all having a fight in a dining hall, and she like awkwardly sweeps this guy's leg, and it's the worst thing. If you took away the music and just watched it in normal speed, it's awful. You could tell that she wasn't trained in martial arts like the rest of the cast. It was just weird. There's a lovely moment where she does a cartwheel and gets Kano's head in between her legs, and her tits are about to pop out of the top. I was just praying that gravity was going to work back there, like, for that scene, and obviously it didn't. But not reverting back to normal self and not being a pig. She has his head in the between her legs, and he basically says, "Oh, give us a break," and she goes, "Okay," snaps his neck. That was a good moment. There's a cool stick fight, or like sort of bamboo stick fight, or bow, I think they call it. Like the big stick, they call it a bow, between Liu Kang and random dreadlocked man. I have no fucking clue who this guy was. He just had dreadlocks and snarled quite a bit. But that was a good fight. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, the scenery and the setting and the actual strength of the actors is great throughout the entire film. It's never going to win any awards. It was never going to. It was never going to. It wasn't made to. It was there to sort of. It was there to take advantage of the license and give something notable for the fans and hopefully draw some new fans in. And I think it certainly did that. If people are still talking about your film like more than 20 years after the fact, then you've obviously done a very good fucking job. And yeah, I absolutely fucking love this. It was absolutely fantastic. One other really cool fact that I only just found out: the guy who played Sub-Zero was called Francis Petit, and he actually worked for the World Wrestling Federation as their head doctor at one point. You can even see him in Beyond the Mat, and he even appears in the infamous Hell in a Cell match in King of the Ring 1998 against Foley and Undertaker. He literally rushes in to check and Foley when he falls through the cage. Yeah, that is him, and that's the long-haired sort of grey-haired gentleman. Rushes into the cage to check on Mick Foley. He played Sub-Zero in this film. Fucking what a cool thing. And he worked on Mick Foley's back. He's a registered chiropractor as well, so a very talented man in multiple aspects. And he's been given a mention in Mick Foley's autobiography as well, which is a New York Times bestseller. Anyway, I'm trying to cheer myself up, and I certainly have, thanks to this film. A fantastic film. I think it would be really great if Netflix just got a hold of this license and actually just fleshed it out. They just turned it into a series, because I think that's partly the reason why this film was a little bit meh in places. Like, there was certain aspects that were just, I don't know, like they sort of befriended sort of people throughout the film, and we didn't really get to see that. Like, there was this bold black gentleman who fought Goro and died, and they were just, like, really distraught and screaming no, and oh no, I can't believe Art's dead and all that. It's like I must have missed something, because I didn't see them hardly speak to this guy at all, and they were just like distraught that he just got murdered. And yeah, it's just little bits like that, and yeah, just getting like sort of exploring the lore of Mortal Kombat. Like, how did this tournament sort of come to be? Who decided that, you needed to beat 10 tournaments in a row to invade a world? Surely you would just invade the world if you wanted to, or if you're powerful enough, if you're hard enough. Yeah, why has this come to be? Just explore the lore a little bit. I know it all spawns from a silly video game, but you can expand on it. I mean, they've obviously they've made money off of this for quite a number of years. There's clearly something to it. So give us a little something, Netflix. I think if anyone could do it, it'll be you or Amazon, whatever. Fuck it, I don't know. One of the big two. I think there's some money in it. Yeah, thanks for listening to my ramblings. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. Go watch this film. It's free on Amazon Prime. I would highly recommend it. If not, just get the soundtrack.